Everybody, welcome back to another TheeSportsScoop video. Week 3 is in the books, excluding 2 games, as you guys know, each week. But our records will be up to date as of the 49ers-Packers, the end of that game. But yeah, we're back. All 4 of us are back officially, which is great to see. Suraj is now back from the wedding. So we were 2 weeks without everyone. Charlie was away week 2, and now Suraj is away. And we unfortunately had like a 37-minute long video when Suraj wasn't here. So let's hope to God that this video is not that long. But today we are doing our week 4 predictions. You guys destroyed the last video, 2.3 thousand views. We had never gotten that many views even last year. So we want to thank you guys so much for that. Obviously it means the world, so much more content coming out, but our records will be up on the screen right now, excluding Monday night. That's updated next week. So we will be 1 game off. I believe I'm 22-4, Suraj in first, Dylan's in second, Charlie's in third, I am in last. As usual, not much has changed, but now we've got a little bit of separation. Not everyone besides me is tied. They're all holding their laughs in, but it's not funny. I'm very, very mad. But yeah, without further ado, we get into our week 4 predictions. Let's get it.
I have a correction from last week's video. Last week I said, starting with the first game in week 1, we've got the least intriguing Thursday night matchup of all time, the Carolina Panthers. And now this is the least intriguing Thursday night matchup. We've got the battle of the #1 overall picks, which seems kind of interesting, but I assure you it is not. It's the Bengals and the Jaguars in prime time. Cian, what do you got?
Nothing like a Dylan cutting to post videos like the Jalen Waddle one. Only Dylan's able to do that on this channel. But look, it's really obvious. It's not a great game. I would actually say this is better than Texans Panthers. I don't know. Again, they're both not good. But obviously the Bengals coming off I would say an upset, but the Bengals really proved why they are a good team. Obviously Jamar Chase, who can now see the ball. Joe Burrow looked pretty good. And obviously they beat a Steelers team that we know has a good defense. Obviously TJ Watt was out, so that played a role in it. We're going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, in which Trevor Lawrence has been nothing special, which of course have every single NFL analyst say this guy's going to be good no matter what, and he isn't so far. Again, it is only 3 games, so we'll see. But again, this is a bigger matchup against a improved Cincinnati defense. I'm going to go Bengals here. I just like this offense and how this defense is rounded up more. But Suraj, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Cincinnati as well. I think really it's very impressive how Cincinnati played against Pittsburgh. One of the most interesting stats was only 1 total pressure was allowed against Joe Burrow, which is a huge improvement from last year's shambles of an offensive line. It'll get even easier against Jacksonville. They cruise to a victory here. Charlie?
Yeah, I think I'm not going to put the Bengals ahead of them because the Bengals look pretty impressive. I'm going to put the Bengals ahead of the Jaguars because the Jaguars just haven't looked very good this year. There's not much else to say about it. As you said, Dylan, a very unintriguing matchup this week, and I'm going to give this one to the Bengals. Pretty boring one.
Yep, and I'm going to have to piggyback onto that one. Definitely the Bengals. I don't see anything of promise in the Jaguars defensively, and then offensively, while Trevor Lawrence can sling the ball down the field as we expect him to be able to, he hasn't been able to hit his targets, leading to a lot of interceptions. And as we know, I like to say turnovers change games.
We can't be relying on Agnew getting 109-yard returns every time. That was ridiculous. You're a commentator. Holy crap.
Gus Johnson is an
Gus Johnson's the GOAT commentator.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Right. Well, moving on to the next game, we've got Tennessee, who just came off a very, very exciting win against the Indianapolis Colts, and the Jets, who just got shut out. I'm glad that I'm not the only team that has been shut out this season now.
Should I go first?
Okay, go for it.
I was very happy that I was able to slither out of last week's video, given that I didn't have to talk about Zach Wilson's 4 interception game. Yeah, and doesn't really get much better here. We got shut out by the Broncos, who admittedly are a good defense, but it's just, oh my God, this team is just so frustrating to watch. Silver lining is Tennessee don't have nearly as a good defense as the previous 3 defenses we have faced, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to win this game. No chance, Tennessee.
Yeah. Wait, Suraj, so what's 3 + 4?
7.
Yeah. So how many interceptions Zach Wilson has in 3 games?
I had a feeling he was going
to the second that he threw 7, I was thinking about saying that in the video. So there we go. But look, I will say, as much as I was, chirping you guys in the group chat, again, it is 3 games. So hopefully he does something against Tennessee. Again, this is a week 4 where obviously we're not judgment, but this, like, if he throws 2+ again, it's like, really at this point, it's okay. Like,
against Tennessee, that's unacceptable.
You should have learned something by now. It's really unfortunate because we love the Sala signing. We love the LaFleur signing. It's not working out now. As you guys know, I have a spot in my heart for the Jets, even though I'm a Giants fan. So I'm hoping them good. I'm going to go Titans for the sake of the record. I've been saying that for a lot of games. I think it's going to go the same way for Charlie, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think that at first, when I thought about this game, I was like, this is a game that I think the Titans will win, but I could potentially see an upset just because the Titans defense isn't exactly strong. Then I remembered that Derrick Henry is on the Titans.
Oh.
And
right.
I remember that the Jets don't exactly have a strong defense.
The defense hasn't been that bad,
but is it strong?
No.
Okay, so to my point, Derrick Henry will rip them to shreds. I don't think Zach Wilson will play that badly, but again, not a very strong Titans defense. He's got to look to Corey Davis more. We saw how well he played in week 1, but he's been kind of quiet the last couple weeks. But it's got to be the Titans.
Yeah, like, physically, is the Jets defense strong enough to beat Derrick Henry?
That is the question. Tug of war,
yeah,
the Jets defense versus Derrick Henry. You can even count the subs. I'm still picking Derrick Henry.
I'm definitely going to agree with you. Give me the Titans taking down the Jets. I don't think there's really that much to say about it. I mean, the constant criticism of the Titans is the lack of defensive depth and lack of defensive just roster players in general, but they've proven themselves to be able to hold themselves in games with solid teams like Seattle and Indianapolis, so they shouldn't have trouble with the Jets. Now moving on to the next one, and we've got the Bears and the Lions. We've got an NFC North clash. What do you guys think?
There's a lot of divisional games. This one obviously not one of the more exciting ones. I think this is the first game where it's like, I think you could go either way. I think a great point which I saw is it looks like the Bears want Justin Fields to fail. I think he was sacked the Browns had the most sacks in a game since 2015. Holding the Bears to, it was something crazy, holding the Bears to 2 field goals, no touchdowns. It's unfortunate, obviously, because it really sucks because no quarterback so far has been incredibly standout. I mean, Mac Jones has been the best of that, and all 4 of us don't necessarily love Mac Jones. So it's an unfortunate situation for Justin Fields, especially because, you want to see him play well in his first start. You want to see him beat the Browns and prove why he's the better quarterback. And he unfortunately didn't get that, even though I had the Bears winning for some stupid idea. But for this one, I'm gonna go Bears. I think, just matchup wise, that didn't make sense. I think the defense is simply better, and I think Fields has that dynamic ability to kind of take apart a not fantastic Lions defense. So I'm gonna go Bears here. Charlie, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the 6 points that the Bears put up this week is not so concerning for me. It was a new quarterback under center, his first start of his NFL career. So the 6 points aren't what concerned me. What concerns me is they were held to under 100 yards all game.
Oh, Jesus, I didn't even know that.
And that's not good, because David Montgomery alone, I believe, has rushed for over 100 yards at least one game this season.
Yeah, against the Rams,
so,
I know he did.
So I think he will be the X factor in this game for the Bears if he can get going. Against the Lions. If he can get going, I think they stand a much better chance. But right now, with Justin Fields under center, I really like Justin Fields, but he's right now not the solution, and it's going to rely on David Montgomery. But I'm going to go with the Lions in this one.
I'm going to go Lions as well, actually. I think the Lions have sneakily been playing everyone very close, very well. They almost came back against the Niners, played a very good first half against the Packers. And if it weren't for Justin Tucker literally being the god of all kickers, they would have beat the Ravens. And I think they're due for a break. And Chicago just looked like a team that's kind of disorganized and a bit of disarray. And I think Dan Campbell has his team playing very well. Dylan is starting to convince me as well.
The Church of Football.
I'm going with Detroit. I think the Lions will win this.
Yeah, I immediately regret picking the Bears now. Yeah. I just know.
You see, I made a lot of strong impressions on people over the offseason, and one of them was my constant approval of Lions hiring Dan Campbell. And I know they're 0-3, so I'm not going to go crazy about it. They've lost all 3 games.
Yeah.
But everyone who is watching the NFL knows who this guy is and knows that he is managing the little talent he has to be able to cover the spread, to be able to play with teams that are really, really good. That being said, they're still 0-3.
Sorry, who's Dan Campbell?
But the Chicago Bears had less than 100 yards in that game against Cleveland. Justin Fields had a total of 1 offensive yard in that game. 67 passing yards, was sacked for 66 yards.
Oh.
1 yard.
He didn't run?
I'm saying passing, sorry.
Okay.
So the lack of offense, the lack of Allen Robinson this season, which is really screwing me up in fantasy, among 7 other factors. Give me the Lions. Segueing in, next one, we've got Dolphins, Colts. I'll take this one. Brissett versus old team. I'm not convinced by him. I'm very convinced by our defense. I love them. But I just think the Colts are just right now a better team. And if Colts Talk and more is watching, this has nothing to do with Tua Tagovailoa. He is injured. I still think with him, we are better than you guys. Nope, not this game. Give me the Colts.
This is definitely a tough one because the Colts haven't looked good either. It's really a kind of a question mark because it's not that it's kind of just the lack of the offense, producing it. And at a certain point, that defense can't hold the offenses they're going up against for more than half of the game, or no, 3/4 of the game. This is a really tough one. I'm tempted to go Dolphins, and I think I will. I think I'm gonna go Miami here. This again is a this is a 50-50 game. But I'm gonna go Miami here. Jacoby Brissett revenge tour. Here we go.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Miami as well. Honestly, I think it's tough because it's a battle of 2 very disappointing teams. 2 teams that expect to be a bit better than they have at this point in the season. Obviously, Miami have had Tua hurt. Carson Wentz has also been dealing with injuries. Again, both teams look relatively unimpressive, but I think Miami, given home field advantage, will win this game.
Yeah, it's surprising that of everybody, Dylan so far is the only one to bet against the Dolphins.
Wow, that's
but I'm gonna join him on this one. I think
never mind.
the Dolphins, just while they looked good enough this week, the way they scored just wasn't promising enough. Brissett didn't throw for a touchdown, and they had a pick 6. That's good, but I just don't think the Dolphins are good enough right now. I don't think the Colts have been particularly strong. Taylor needs to get it going, but I think they'll be able to get it going against this Dolphins team.
Moving into the next one, we've got the semi-problematic Cleveland Browns, who had a good game against the Bears defensively, but did not look up to par offensively against the high-flying Vikings. What do you think, Cian?
Yeah, this is again kind of a tougher one because you kind of look at what the Vikings have been throughout the season. They've been a team who've been able to who started slow, obviously losing to the Bengals in that close one, but going up against a Browns team that we know have the defensive pieces to really contend with any team. It's going to be a tough one because I think what we love to talk about with the Vikings is getting the ball to Adam Thielen in the red zone and letting Justin Jefferson kind of do the rest, and Dalvin Cook, obviously, who I'm not sure if he will be back. I don't know if
I think he will.
Yeah, so again, that's a big thing. That's obviously a big deal for them. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go for this is a tough one. I really want to go Vikings. I'm gonna go Browns. I like the momentum they have. I like the coach. I like the offense. I'm gonna go Browns. Again, this is a tough one. The first 3 games we all agree, and then we just fall apart. But I'm gonna go Browns here.
I'm gonna go Browns as well. Kevin Stefanski's revenge tour against his former team, the Minnesota Vikings. I think the Browns' run defense has been surprisingly very good, and not many people are talking about it. And I think regardless if Dalvin Cook is there or not, I think the Browns have the offensive and defensive capabilities to slow them down. I think Cleveland win this game.
I think this is a tough one because I think it could go either way. I'm gonna bet on the Browns for this one, but I think that it could either be a really close game or the Browns could completely shut them out. I think it's got the potential to be one of the games that we go into it expecting a great one and we don't get one. So in that sense, it could go either way, but I'm going to go for the Browns in this one.
I'm going to be the one that goes against you guys here. I think the Vikings are
I don't hate it. I think it's
Full Nation
I
in
hate
Minnesota. In Minnesota, they've looked really good offensively. The Browns haven't. Odell is back. Landry's gone. While the run game looks really, really promising, their offense, passing-wise, just does not look up to par. Cousins beats Mayfield. Give me the
Cousins. Oh, whoa.
Give me the Vikings. Now moving into another one, we've got Washington football team versus the Atlanta Falcons. Cian, what do you got?
Defensive offensive matchup. I love Calvin Ridley. He's just I think really the losing Julio has just made him such a good receiver. Obviously, Dylan, as you talked about last week, one of the best route runners in the NFL, and I think we saw that against the Giants, which we'll talk about later. But this is, again, a tough one because Washington right now, at this point, what I've seen a lot of people talking about is like this is the Cowboys and Eagles division, because Charlie, unfortunately, I don't see the Giants getting more than 5 wins this season, and then Washington, unfortunately, it's kind of a question mark because that defense is good, but it's Heineke, who we all loved. I think we all knew at some point, he was going to slow down. They were obviously, manhandled against the Bills, against a much taller quarterback than Heineke and Josh Allen. So here, I'm going to go Falcons. I think Falcons get a second win. I can't tell if that's going against what I was saying. I'm not sure. I'm going to go Falcons. Again, predictions as we go along week by week, mine just get like discombobulated and don't make sense. But I'm going to go Falcons here. Suraj, what do you think?
This is a really tough one. I think this is an embodiment of a 50-50 game. Yeah. I'm going to go Washington for the reason that if this was the Falcons from last year that were putting up more points in terms of the offense, I think they would win this game. But I think Atlanta have really slowed down, which may be partly because Matt Ryan has slowed down. And even though Washington's defense is underperformed, I think they'll have a decent game against an underwhelming Atlanta offensive line. I think Heineke will do enough to win this game. So give me Washington.
I think y'all are crazy.
I was about to say that, yeah.
I don't necessarily think that this game will be a blowout, but it will be dominated by Washington. I think Washington doesn't really have the offense right now to make it a blowout, but they do have the defense to dominate. And I think the Falcons have a good offense when you're just looking at Calvin Ridley. But overall, it's just not strong enough to beat this Washington team. I think Washington is miles better. Well, just give me Washington.
Yeah. Cian and Suraj, I don't know what you've done to earn yourselves the title of football analyst.
Okay, Dylan.
Okay.
This is a no. This is a Washington.
How is this a no?
This is a Washington football team masterclass. They're taking down the Falcons. The Falcons have not looked in any way near the term good this entire season, and beating the Giants does not count. So I don't really think I have that much to say.
Washington haven't either.
Yeah, Washington have severely underperformed on defense. Yeah. Everyone's saying their defense has been so good. Where have we seen that all season long?
Washington has played 2 good teams. Atlanta have played 3 mediocre teams and have very, very narrowly only won once. So give me Washington. Now, moving on from calling you guys delusional football analysts, I have a very hot take in the next one. Bills Texans.
No, I mean, Dylan, there's just no way that you can tell us we're delusional and then say you have a hot take in Bills Texans. Like that's not how it works.
Go ahead.
It's just not how it works. If you think Washington are good and the Bills beat them by that much, but you think the Texans could beat the Bills, like Dylan, you just been debunked. Like literally, I'm posting this. You just literally got debunked as delusional. Like that, it literally doesn't make sense. This is a Bills win by 15,000 miles. If you think in any way that us saying Falcons will win, but you think the Texans will win, please leave, never come back. This is easily a Bills win.
Dude, extremely personal in here. I'm gonna make it short and sweet. Davis Mills actually played, probably has been the best rookie, ironically, out of all the rookie quarterbacks. That being said, Buffalo's defense has looked very good so far. So
hey, Serge, we haven't seen Kellen Mond yet. Calm down.
Shut up. Okay. Kellen Mond is pretty good.
Yeah.
We don't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I I guess you could say I'm sort of with Dylan on this one. I don't think it'll be as big of a blowout as we may expect, but I don't think it'll be close. I think this is a Bills win, no matter what. The Texans don't have any good players on their roster. I don't know how you can come close.
Then how can you say it won't be a blowout?
Because
yeah,
these
true.
Games aren't necessarily blowouts just because one team's a lot better.
Yeah, like I see what you mean.
So I think the Bills will put up a lot of points, and while it may be not a blowout because the Texans put up garbage time points or because the Bills just don't really try on defense because they score a touchdown on every single drive, whatever it is, the Bills are winning this game comfortably, but not in a blowout.
All right, now
just don't say it. Just don't. Like, I don't want to hear it.
No, we want to hear it.
I think the Buffalo Bills are going to defeat the Houston Texans.
Okay. Why do you say that then?
But I think the Houston Texans are going to play a game against them and not on their own accord. The Buffalo Bills, historically, the last season and this season, have had a tendency to play down to their opponents. When they're playing solid defenses like Miami and Washington, they blow up. They go crazy on them. But when they play against some teams that are more iffy, they have a tendency to play down to them. They throw to different guys. They don't really target digs. They don't run the football. I don't think the Texans have the ability to beat the Bills, but I think it's going to be a close enough game for people to say, maybe that defense has something to be acknowledged. So
and
give
they
me the
don't.
Bills.
Wait, so they don't play good against bad defenses, so the Steelers' defense is bad.
I'm not. The Steelers' defense is obviously a different story, but
debunked. There we go.
Moving into the next game, this is not the right time to be telling me I'm debunked because we're about to go into the Giants game. Giants Saints.
Yeah, but I'm not delusional about them. I mean, the Giants are not good. Daniel Jones did not look bad though.
11-6 in the offseason. No, that was fun.
Oh, what do you? Okay, that's not true. Maybe I definitely did not say that. Yeah,
very true. I have.
I think you did.
Okay, maybe I said that.
all right.
Okay.
I definitely didn't say that, but this one, no. Again, I mean, a Saints team who's kind of been up and down. We were like, holy crap, James Winston. Then like, okay, he's not that good. Then oh wait, James Winston. So we'll see. And then maybe this week will be, oh, James Winston sucks. That's what I'm hoping. Because again, like this is another game where it's like the Giants could maybe win it. Me and Charlie recently have kind of been when it's close, we just go with the Giants because like let's just go with the Giants. I'm gonna go with the Saints. The Giants have just been killing my record lately because our coaches suck. And that's about it. Daniel Jones, I will say, looks promising. He's better than Zach Wilson. He's better than Tua Tagovailoa currently. So I'm completely fine with not going for.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. This is the first time that I'm holding Daniel Jones over Tua, just to put that out there. Daniel Jones has looked more impressive than Tua this season.
Tua is on the IR.
Yeah,
the games Tua played.
In the games he's played, Daniel Jones has looked good
actually impressive this season.
He's looked good.
And that's one thing. 2, Saquon Barkley finally on the score sheet this week. And 3, I do think this one's close, and I was inclined to go with the Saints, but I think that Jameis Winston is so up and down, and against a pretty good Giants secondary that forces turnovers, a lot of turnovers. They could force a lot of turnovers against this a little bit iffy Saints offense, and I'm gonna go with the Giants in this one with a close one.
Okay.
At least we split it.
Charlie, come on. I mean, although to be fair, I was actually going to say some things that I kind of agree with you on. I agree that I think actually it will be somewhat close because I think actually the Giants secondary will force some turnovers from Jameis Winston. He'll have another iffy game. That being said, the Giants will have no chance to control time possession considering Saquon will be going against one of the best run defense in the NFL in New Orleans. Jameis will have a huge margin for error, and for that reason, even though not playing their best game at home, the Saints will win this game no matter what.
Yeah, the Saints are going to win this game, Charlie. I'm just making...
Give me the win. My record is benefiting here.
Yeah. I'll very happily give you the odds here. But
I'll take my -20 odds.
Sure. I don't really know what you're saying with the secondary forces a lot of turnovers. I'm fact checking this as we go right now. But they have
you can do good clicking.
1 interception this season.
Fumbles.
So,
they forced 2 against the Broncos.
All right.
Don't argue with the Giants fan, though. Come on,
yeah.
you know.
All right. No, I might be wrong. I was just
Especially against Jameis. That's my point.
Yeah, all right. That makes a little bit of sense. Either way, though, I just don't think they really have that great of a chance. They haven't shown the tendency to be able to beat bad teams when they go up against a team like the Saints, who isn't necessarily great. They're not going to be able to beat them.
I mean, Charlie, we can't argue that they're 0-3. Like, it's
Yeah, no, they do suck. I will not lie. They suck.
The Saints secondary looks so much different when Marshawn Lattimore is on the field. It's going to be very difficult to get by them, especially if Slayton and Shepard are not going to be able to play next year.
Shepard has been a big part of this team so far, and if Shepard can play, it's a lot because Lattimore will be guarding Kenny Golladay.
Yeah. All right. Well, give me the Saints regardless. Moving into the next one, we've got the very, very unconvincing Chiefs. Is that fair to say?
I don't know how that's a thing in September, but yeah, I guess.
And, the Philadelphia Eagles. I would say this is an Andy Reid return game, but unfortunately he's been hospitalized today. Hopes and prayers to Andy Reid.
He's okay. It's looking like
I've heard he's okay. Either way, hopes and prayers.
It would be against his former team also, the Eagles.
Yeah. All right, so this one, I'm going to make it short and sweet. I think, obviously, going 0-1-2 is a fluke. I think the Chargers had a great game, but this against the Eagles, especially in a short week now for the Eagles, I'm going to go Chiefs here.
I am going to go Chiefs as well. But I think this isn't just a fluke. I think it's a sign of maybe things to come actually for Kansas City. They're relying too much on their big three stars of Mahomes, Hill, and Kelsey. It's really showing he doesn't really have anyone else to go to. The defense has been atrocious, run defense and pass defense. The offensive line has been meh. I'm not very convinced by the Chiefs. I think they'll win against Philly, who actually also have a very underrated defense. And Mahomes has also been more prone to turnovers, which I have no idea why. I'm going to give it to Kansas City, though, that being all set. But I don't think they look very convincing. I could see them losing a couple more games down the road, especially if they don't clean up their act.
Okay, I'm going to say this every single week until the Chiefs start winning. Stop. The Chiefs are one of the best teams in the NFL, and they will win this week against the Eagles. Talent-wise, it's not even close. And until they win a game, it is stop betting against the Chiefs. Because the Chiefs... I'm not going to bet against them all year. It's just not going to happen. I think they're too good to bet against. While they may drop some of those games, they're too good to go against. Dylan?
I'm also going to go with the Chiefs. However, I'm actually on Suraj's side here. They're too reliant on Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce in the offensive side of the ball, although Clyde Edwards-Helaire did look like a very different player today. That being said, defensively, they're bottom half of the league, and without Reek or Kelce, and I hate that argument, so I really hate that I just did that. But I'll finish what I was about to say. They don't look like the same team that they've been for the past couple of years. But I don't like that argument, so I'll just ignore that. Chiefs.
There's nothing like a prediction of just Dylan's head. All right. All right.
Yep. Moving into the next one, we've got Panthers and Cowboys, the last game of our 1 o'clock slate. What do you got, Cian?
Yeah, again, a big one. Panthers win this game. They are legit. Panthers don't win this game. They are not. Cowboys, again, going up against a Panthers team I think is good. Obviously, losing J.C. Horn. Who the Panthers lost a lot. Oh, obviously losing McCaffrey, who's now out. I think it's got to be a Cowboys win. I think J.C. Horn was a big part of not only that, but letting Jackson kind of be free. J.C. Horn being that big body corner, obviously breaking bones in his foot, obviously terrible. And then McCaffrey, who now maybe we could call injury prone, which is terrible to say. But I'm going to go Cowboys.
I was so upset about that J.C. Horn injury. I mean, he has been looking fantastic. Although I'm happy though, it looked like an Achilles injury at first, and we all know how detrimental those injuries can be. So he should be able to make a full recovery and may even come back late this season if the Panthers are to make a playoff push. One of the big things that could be happening though is the arrival of AJ Bouye. I think the Cowboys win though.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you guys on the Cowboys win. But, Cian, I'm going to disagree. I think no matter whether the Panthers win or lose this game, they are legit. Because I have really liked the way that Sam Darnold has started this season. And so it's not been all Christian McCaffrey. They've played well defensively. They've played well offensively, even when not going straight through McCaffrey. So I think that the Cowboys are going to win this game. The Panthers will no longer be undefeated. I hate to say it, but I think the Panthers are legit this season. Dylan?
I agree that the Panthers are legit. I think the Cowboys will win anyway, though. Regardless of how good the Panthers' defense is, and they are excellent, I think the Cowboys' offense is just as dynamic and as explosive to be able to deal with any defense put against them. Give me the Cowboys. Moving into the next one, we've got a divisional clash and historic rivalry in the Seahawks and Niners.
Yeah, so we got both rivalries in that division in the Seahawks, Niners, and then we'll get into the Rams, Cardinals. This is a tough one. Obviously, the Niners are currently playing, so it's unfortunate because, obviously that there'll be a storyline there in terms of if they win or if they lose. I think, really going into this is actually, now that I think about it, I haven't really been paying attention. I feel like there hasn't been a lot of media concentration on this 49ers team. I feel like I haven't heard Jimmy Garoppolo this entire season, which is weird. I guess we'll hear him tonight. I'm going to go Seahawks here. I think Tyler Lockett, to me, while I've hated on him, is just like he's just the most confusing receiver, because sometimes he's awful and sometimes he's like a top 3 receiver in terms of production. So I'm going to go Seahawks here.
I'm going to go Niners. I think they are one of the most stout teams defensively, and Seattle also looked to be a very underwhelming team this season. And I think in the stacked NFC West, I think San Francisco will be able to get a very important divisional win.
Yeah, I actually, when writing down my predictions, I got to write them down, but this one I didn't really hesitate. I have the Seahawks on this one. I just haven't liked the Niners offense so far this season, and the Seahawks have just looked better offensively. We don't really know what's going on with the Niners defense, or at least I don't really know what's going on there. Don't know if they're playing well or playing badly. Can't really tell for me right now. Same with the offense, but it doesn't look very good. The situation in San Fran's just weird right now. So I'm going to go for Seattle.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go Seattle. And my opinion on this might change within the course of 2 hours, but I do not think that the San Francisco 49ers are good. I just don't.
Yeah, that's the big, yeah.
I haven't been convinced by them. They let up 38 points to the Lions, who, while I love them, I wouldn't say I like Dan Campbell's Lions, but that's not a good thing to give up 38 points to them. And then they didn't play well against the Eagles. I don't want to harp on too long. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, because the big thing for me is, like, when I say 49ers, I'm not like, oh, God, it's scary.
And now moving into our next one with two of the greatest historical teams in the NFL, Steelers, Packers. What do you got?
Yeah, another, kind of potato Ben and Aaron Rodgers matchup. And then it's the offensive line for the Steelers isn't good. And the Steelers team it collapses. Kind of like, why are they this good? Like, they shouldn't be this good. And then they kind of collapse against the Bengals, a divisional rival. Going up against a Packers team that I think, while that week 1 performance was very disappointing and one that they will never forget, I think that they will beat the Steelers. I wouldn't be surprised this one goes into OT. I think this will be a close one, but I'm going to go Packers here.
Yep, Green Bay are looking good so far, up 10-0 in the first quarter against San Francisco. Okay. I think the only way Pittsburgh wins is if TJ Watt has an otherworldly performance if he plays. I don't think that happens. I think Green Bay do enough to beat a stout Pittsburgh defense, and the Green Bay defense doesn't have to lift a finger. Give me the Packers.
Honestly, I don't know with this one because you guys picked the Packers without a thought, but I think that the Steelers have a good enough team to put up a competition. We saw Najee Harris added, I think, 12 catches this week. I could be very wrong with that number, but he had right. He had 100 yards receiving, which going into the season, I did not think of Najee as much receiving wise, and showing that he adds that extra dimension just makes him all that more scary and dangerous. And I think that the Steelers could really do a number to this Packers team. This is a tough one for me. I'm going to go with the Steelers.
I am not. I'm going to go with the Packers.
Nice.
Potato Ben. I'm going to side with Cian here. I don't think he has the ability to play in the National Football League any longer.
Big potato.
And at this point, I think they'd be better off with Haskins, and I think they'd be better off with Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
So give me the Packers. I have no hesitance in saying this. Give me the Packers. Moving in to the next one, we've got the Justin Tucker saving the Ravens last game. Well, they're playing the Broncos, who are now undefeated under Teddy Bridgewater. What do you got, Cian?
It'll be a struggling Lamar Jackson against a really good Broncos defense. I think this is going to be one of the games of the week, because you kind of look at I guess Lamar Jackson, it's look, this guy, did he go for 100 yards? I feel like, did he go for 100 yards rushing? Because I know he was at the record. It was 10 games is the record for rushing for 100 yards. Again, I'm not sure, but this this is a really tough one. I think it's a new Teddy Bridgewater. It's a mature Teddy Bridgewater. It's a guy who can actually lead a franchise. So now looking at that, now you're really looking in retrospect, like this could be, the Broncos were not mind readers. They were from the future and could tell that Justin Fields would struggle. But I think that Teddy Bridgewater is arguably looking like a better, kind of pickup here. So I'm going to go, my record's terrible, so I'll just go Broncos here. Upset the Ravens, my upset pick.
It's a tough game because I want to go full all in on the Broncos. Remember, even though they are undefeated, the teams they have beaten are the Giants, Jaguars, and Jets, which isn't the most convincing slate. But that being said, the Ravens look very inconsistent. They could very easily be 0-3 at this point. If it weren't for a Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumble and a Justin Tucker being a miracle worker, the Ravens could be 0-3, and I think the Broncos in the mile high atmosphere. I know that's offset a lot. I'm gonna go with the Broncos, although Ravens could easily win this for me.
I like it. Suraj went with me there.
So as you said, Suraj, Jets, Giants, and Jaguars are the three teams that the Broncos have played and beat this season. And I think that, unlike the Panthers, I do not think that the Broncos are legit this season. I think they have had a fluky not necessarily a fluky 3 games, but an offsetting start. It's deceiving start. They're making everyone think something, and now I have another 3-0 team dropping their 4th game. I had the Panthers losing to the Cowboys, and now I have the Broncos. They're going to struggle against the Ravens. There's no doubt about it. Even if they win this, it'll be really close, but I have no hesitancy picking the Ravens in this one.
I find these teams to be very even in literally every facet of the game, except for quarterback.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You see the running backs on each side. You've got a washed up.
And the running backs, that snaps the ball.
Yeah, we're not going to say that. But if you want to go by washed Melvin Gordon, I don't particularly like saying that, but that's how most people see him. You see that, and you see Latavius Murray on the other side. You see the wide receiver core in Baltimore, pretty lackluster. Same with Denver. And they've got the same type of defensive schemes. And I think the only difference is Lamar Jackson. The only difference is Teddy Bridgewater versus Lamar Jackson. And I'm going to obviously take Lamar Jackson. So give me the Ravens.
He's overrated.
No, give me the.
That's why I picked him in fantasy.
Yeah, next game, we've got Buccaneers, Patriots, the return of Brady to Foxborough. What do you guys have?
Best game of the NFL season so far.
Best game of the season.
This is the best build up to a game that we will ever see in our lifetime.
Yeah.
It's not going to be close.
I know it doesn't seem very hyped up now. It will be a close game. I can promise you it will be a close game. Belichick, who knows Brady better than Belichick? Nobody knows better than Belichick. And I think it'll be again a battle of Mac Jones and Tom Brady. While no one is comparable to Tom Brady, if there's any quarterback right now that you could slightly compare to him in terms of his ability in the pocket, his ability to throw the ball, and his ability to get out of the pocket when he needs to, is Mac Jones. So this one, I'm going to go, obviously, Tampa Bay, but I think this will be a close one. I think that they'll be able to game plan very well against a Bucs team that was figured out by a good defense in the Rams. And unfortunately, at this age, Brady has been crumbling under pressure a decent bit, besides, the Super Bowl, in which the defense was fantastic. So I'm going to go for the Tampa Bay here, obviously, but I think this will be a good game.
I am going to go with Tampa Bay as well, and I agree with everything said, except Mac Jones plays like Tom Brady, but he's nowhere close to Tom Brady.
Obviously, nobody is.
Nobody is, but I think Mac Jones, he'll crumble under the spotlight. Brady won't really have to do anything, even though the Pats' defense is good. It won't be enough. I think Belichick will do his best to keep this game close, but in terms of rosters, there is no comparison. Give me Tampa Bay here.
Yeah, it's not going to be close. The Bucs are so much better than the Patriots in every single way. It's ridiculous. And it is true. And I think that while I have compared Mac Jones to Tom Brady, not because I think Mac Jones is going to be the next Tom Brady, that's ridiculous, but because I think Mac Jones has a similar play style to Brady and he could really thrive in Belichick's system. What you said about being able to get out of the pocket, that's not true. Brady doesn't do that.
When they need to.
Brady doesn't get out of the pocket. He just
Look
goes
at
down.
Brady today. Brady today was climbing the pocket. Brady today had a fantastic. Aaron Donald came around the corner and he
maybe a
ducked
couple
under the
times
tackle.
a season gets out of the pocket.
It's the ability to when you need to, and the ability to move around and navigate.
But
through
he
the
doesn't
pocket.
use it.
Yes, he does. Watch Tom Brady. That
He
is
does go.
100%
He does.
what Tom Brady
He
does.
does go outside of the pocket. He just doesn't like throw on the run like.
It's not you think going around the pocket is Justin Fields running and Deshaun Watson running, throwing. It's about navigating through it, so stepping up, stepping to the side, evading.
No, but there's a
tackles
difference in
closes.
getting out of the pocket and just navigating the pocket.
That's what I said. I said navigating.
I don't think so, but okay. So we'll move on. I don't think it's gonna be close. The Bucs are gonna take this one.
Yeah, I'm
Dylan
gonna have.
said.
Yeah,
What a great.
I'm gonna have to agree. I don't think this is really that great of a matchup. The build-up will be great. It'll be Brady versus Belichick, but I think Brady's gonna win, and it's not because Brady is the
Good
key.
take, Dylan.
It's not because Brady's the key to the Patriots franchise's victories or anything like that. It's because the Buccaneers simply have a better roster and a better all-around team than the Patriots. So give me the Buccaneers. I don't really see why this is that close.
No offense, but I hate that take because like teams have better teams than other, but still lose. That's not like a great point.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, but I just think the sheer roster power will be able to take on Patriots. And now moving into a game, I'm going to go first here. If all of my predictions were correct, the Raiders would be 0-3.
Wow.
And now they're going to be 0-4 because I'm going to give the Chargers the win over the Raiders in this matchup. This is going to be a really interesting one that could have real good implications for the playoffs. So I think the Chargers are going to take down the Raiders. But Cian, what do you got?
So I'm going to go last here. I'm going to pass it off to do that. So Suraj, what do you think?
I'm gonna go Chargers. I think even though I think the Raiders have really improved from the last two seasons when they've collapsed down the stretch, I think their defense has improved. I think their car has improved. I think the offensive weapons have improved. And they've beaten convincing teams, Baltimore, Pittsburgh. You could argue Miami. I'm not sure about that. But despite all that, I think Justin Herbert is just too good. I think the defense for Los Angeles has been good, so give me the Chargers.
So I think this is actually going to be a really good game. We have a 3-0 Raiders against a Justin Herbert who looked really good this week against the Chiefs. And I think it really could go either way. I think both teams have looked impressive enough. I mean, the Chargers obviously took down the Chiefs and the Raiders are obviously 3-0. So like two teams that are capable of winning this game and two teams that are capable of losing this game. As much as I hate to do it, I'm going to have my third 3-0 team drop week 4. And I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one. I'm going to agree with you.
Brandon Staley is the best coach in the NFL right now. He is fantastic, and he has transformed the Chargers team. You look at the play calls. Instead of going for a field goal against the Chiefs, he goes for a throw, pans out perfectly. This guy has been picture perfect in terms of play calling for this Chargers team. He is a fantastic coach. Oh, he's defensive. He's not going to do well. This guy is intellectually so smart. The ability to coach both sides of the ball. He's been fantastic. That could change and it will change, but I'm telling you right now, as of week 3, he is the best coach in the NFL. I'm gonna go Chargers as well. You know why Justin Herbert's a fantastic quarterback. That offense has power, and I think the defense, was able to obviously not lose to the Chiefs. So there you have it. But that will end it for our week 4 predictions. We say we never do podcasts. This was basically a podcast. This was 50 minutes. Which was slightly ridiculous, but we hope you guys did enjoy that video. Do make sure to subscribe. Somehow people still watch fully, so if you did, congrats. Like, that's actually an accomplishment. So we hope you guys did enjoy. Do make sure to comment down below. All of our social medias are down below as well. Subscribe. You guys got us to 1,520 when we weren't at 1,500 last week, so make sure to do that again. That would mean the world. Like the video. Cian McDermott, Suraj Kadali, Charlie NEIDELL, Mr. Irrelevant, Suraj Kadali, Charlie NEIDELL, and Dylan Cian. Without further ado, this is TheeSportsScoop. We'll see you in the next one. Enjoy your week 4. See you next time.